Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 29 of Project Ozone 3. We are getting progressively closer and closer to our Philosopher's Stone. But when looking through the recipes again, you always gotta find the thing that you missed the first time through, right? And actually, I didn't miss anything in here. I think I just put in the recipe for the Wyvern Core, so all we have left is a few of these, like tier 6 mob chunks. Very easy stuff, just put recipes in. But there is one thing I did miss. We need to make the crafting table to make it in. And there's this recipe. So this doesn't look that bad. I mean, aside from the fact that I guess, green diamonds, tier 11. There's nothing here we can't make. Okay, let's add this to the list. We now have to get to tier 11 planets. But to make this crafting table, we have to make it in this crafting table, which adds blue diamonds, which is, I guess, the same. It's still tier 11. This is unchanged. And the other thing we need, though, is infused diamonds. That's dimensional shard ore. And according to JEI, the only way to get it is a laser drill. But I'm really hoping that it still generates in RF Tools Dimensions worlds. Like, you can just mine it there. If that's the case, if we can just mine it, then I think we're in pretty decent shape. So my plan is to spin up, or for today, let's start by spinning up RF Tools Dimension World and seeing if the dimensional shard ore generates there. So that takes our dimension builder. We need a few. Let's see. We already have a dimlet workbench. We need a dimension inscriber, and we don't need the editor yet. So let me go ahead and build these components. So at the most fundamental level, all we need is a dimension inscriber and a builder. In the inscriber, you place a empty dimension tab, and you can specify some behavior of the dimension by putting dimlets in here. Right now, we're not going to put anything. We're just going to let it be completely blank. And that basically says, RF Tools, generate me a random dimension. Then you take that realize dimension tab, put it in here. It has to build the dimension. That takes that creation cost per tick, so 1,000. And then when it's done, it takes the maintenance cost per tick. And it doesn't tell you anything further here. So anyways, when it's done too, it can store up to, I think it's like 40 million RF in the realized dimension tab. And is it 40 million? I don't know. It can store a large amount of RF in it. I'm only getting 43k RF a tick. Anyways, what was I saying? Hold on. Is this line not connected to my main line? No, it is. I should be getting a lot more power than that, right? It's connected to my nuclear reactors, which are producing millions of RF a tick. Maybe the heavy aluminum wire doesn't transfer as much power as I thought, and I have to rip it all out again later. That would suck. But whatever, I'll deal with that problem later. Anyways, now that we have our dimension, we have to go to it. Where did I get this block from? Right here. However, to go to this dimension, we have to use the RF Tools teleportation system, and we can dial a matter transporter to it. However, that requires a dialing device, so apparently we have to do Galacticraft first. Gosh darn it. Right, to do it, we need to get these, not that one. Tier 7. So I guess step 1 is to get back to Galacticraft. Welp. I guess I put it off as long as I can. Let's go back to Mars. And here we go to Mars. That's still not Mars. And here we go to Mars. You know what they say, 5th time's the charm, right? Hopefully. We did it! 5th time. Alright, I'll take it. Anyways, let's go build the tier 3 rocket now. Building a rocket. If only building rockets was this easy, right? And let's launch it. So I think tier 3 is Mercury, and I think that needs a new set of thermal protection as well. So if you look, I already built it, but I have this tier 3 thermal protection. And we still have plenty of oxygen. So once the rocket's loaded, we should be good to go. 3, 2, 1, and we have liftoff. Tier 3, as I said, should be Mercury. I wonder. Oh, Venus is also tier 3. Which one do I want to go to? I want to go to the one that has a dungeon. Has dungeon true? They both have dungeons. That's awkward. Not sure which one I want to go to. Let me look this up real quick so I don't end up wasting a trip. Turns out that the asteroid belt is also tier 3. And I think there are resources here in the asteroid belt that we need eventually. But I think since I have thermal protection for Mercury, we're going to go there first. And if it turns out I have to launch again to go to Venus or whatever, we'll deal with it then. Landing on... This is Mercury? What's that? Like a meteorite. Block of dash, huh? I mean, I guess that would be nice if I didn't have a lot of dash already. Is this meteoric iron? Oh, cool. Again, would be cool if I didn't have a seed producing as much of that as I could ever use. Anyways, let's put our matter, thingamajiggers down. So our goals on this planet are to get the tier 4 rocket schematic, as well as materials for tier 4 heavy-duty plates, which is compressed mercury. Which, if I had to guess, I would hope that it's found on Mercury. So my dungeon locator does say it's found in dungeon. So let's go check it out. Oh, let's set a waypoint before we go. Looks like a dungeon entrance to me. And the boss room. We have a giant magma cube. Like most bosses, we shoot it to death. This time, I don't think there's any way we failed the loot table. Like, I think the only thing we can get in here is the right rocket. I sure hope anyways. Apparently we can just not get a rocket. Maybe the schematic doesn't come from Mercury? It's entirely possible the schematic comes from Venus then. I'm gonna do another dungeon just to be sure. On my way out, may as well grab some of this Mercury ore. Unfortunately, Mercury does not have a mystical agriculture variant of it, so good. However much I need, I have to mine. Good news is I don't need all that much, right? I need 1 per 2 heavy-duty plates, and I might need like a stack of heavy-duty plates, at least for now. So maybe not even that much. So yeah, like half a stack of Mercury ore should be sufficient. Apparently there's alien villages here on Mercury, so one right next to our dungeon entrance. So I'm gonna check to see if they have a trade in case, there is a way to trade for the right schematic. They use the same lunar sapphire as currency. But they look like they're just exact copies of the lunar villages, unfortunately. Alright, well, let's go check out that dungeon then. What's in the chest? Another Geiger counter. According to the wiki, the tier 4 schematic is found in Mercury, so I think it might just be a 50-50 between Geiger counters and tier 4 schematics or something. Anyways, I'm gonna, you get the point now. We're just gonna keep doing dungeons. Dungeon number 3. Loot chest number 3. Hey, here it is. Okay, cool. I'll take that. And with this, we can now head to whatever tier 4 is. Jupiter, if I had to guess. Before we can go to Jupiter and Saturn, we need the appropriate tier thermal padding, which looks like it actually is going to take a lot of compressed carbon. So I only dug up like 20 ores of it, and by my estimate, we're going to need about a stack. And I'm a lazy person, so let's bring a digital miner over to Mercury and have it dig up carbon for us. So when you're only digging for a single resource, the digital miner is nice because you can specify for it to only dig for that thing. I'm trying to remember what goes where. So I think power is in the back. Is that right? Do you have power now? You're not on. So I suspect that's not right. Power top? No. All right, so it takes power from either side. Then outputs go in the back, and if optionally inputs go in the top. Inputs are used to, how like you can replace blocks. Well, when it mines blocks, you can either just leave a hole or replace them. If you provide inputs on top, it'll replace with it. Anyways, next thing you want to do is go into config, set the size. Generally speaking, I want the maximum possible value, so I forget what it is. 32. Y level, what am I at? 100. So we want to go from 0 to 100. And we want carbon ore, I think. Carbon. Does it have an ore dictionary name? Ore carbon is what I want. So, ore dictionary. Ore carbon. And while I'm here, I may as well get mercury ore too. You can double check its ore dictionary name or mercury. That's what I would have guessed. Oh, this, you need 2 filters. What? Am I overwriting it? I want a new filter, not... Hold on. So that's mercury ore. Save. New filter. Save. There we go. I think I accidentally overwrote the carbon one and they kept adding the same one over and over. Anyways, once that's done, generally it's good to put some upgrades in. So let's get some. Do I have any made? Mechanism upgrades. I do not. So energy and speed upgrades. And then this will cause it to run both quickly and without consuming too much power. Someone in the comments said I could like shift right click these into a machine, but it doesn't seem to work. I don't know if the digital miner is a unique case because it's a multi-block, and I'm not quite sure which block is the actual like tile entity. But anyways, once these are all in, we can see that they same thing, 10 times as fast, 10 times energy usage. Total RF usage is pretty slow. So what happens is when it runs, the items will initially populate this area, and since we have a chest here to eject to, and we have auto eject on, it'll push it there. So click start, and you'll see it found 1600 blocks it's going to mine, and it's pushing them here. So I'm going to let it run for like 2 minutes so I can get a stack of each ore. And then I'm probably not going to leave the miner here. I'll take it with me so that when I go to other planets, I can just set it up and have it mine the ores for me. One thing I've been asked before too is, when do I prefer to use the digital miner as a quarry versus the builder? Right? If you remember, not the dimension, but the regular builder. We were using this as a quarry in some other places. I use the builder when I just want to get basically everything. Whether it's all ores or all blocks. The builder mines blocks at both mine blocks at a fixed rate, but the builder will not skip over blocks. So it mines much faster, but it'll take everything, including the useless cobble and that kind of stuff. Whereas the digital miner is smart enough to only mine the blocks you tell it to. So if I can have a very strict filter, then I'm very happy to use a digital miner. Whereas if I don't have an opportunity to set up a filter because either I want everything or some other reason, then I prefer to use the builder. Another thing about the digital miner is, let's see, reset config. The maximum size it can mine is much smaller, right? It has a 32 block radius, so it gets like a 65 by 65 area, whereas the builder gets a 512 by 512 area, which is what, like 8 times bigger in each direction, so 64 times bigger overall. It can get that much in one pass, whereas the digital miner, after 32 blocks, you have to move it. Anyways, that's just about the only meaningful difference between the two. So now that I have my ores, we can go back to building that, this spacesuit and whatever we need to get to the next planet. Did I pick up my digital miner? I did. All right. While the materials for our spacesuit process, let's make our tier 4 rocket. So it also says has to be placed in a tier 2 launch pad. Let's see what that takes. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. That's tier 3, powered. Where's tier 2? Here it is. Titanium and compressed titanium. Okay. Is this a 5x5? So I need 25 of these? But I think it's otherwise the same, it's just bigger. Yep, and cool. So I'm just gonna let it fuel now. I don't want to, actually take off until I have my spacesuit. Spacesuit's done, so let's put it on and get ready to go. Rocket should be fueled. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, take off. So I think now we're going to Jupiter, right? Has dungeon. There are some other tier 4 planets, Ceres, I think the moons of Jupiter, but there's basically no reason to go there. Is Saturn tier 5? Yeah, it is. Alright, so Jupiter it is. Wow, is it noisy on this planet? I think I have to turn down the weather sounds. I hope we don't land in like a pocket of lava or whatever that is. Well, I guess we landed. We landed on like that little piece of dust in the air. Alright, let me up. I'm gonna break that and then I think hopefully we'll fall actually to the ground. Well, I broke the rocks, but apparently our capsule just floats up here now. That's fine, I'll just take the rocket out and land. The other kind of annoying thing is, I just remember now, the audio, let's see, music and sounds. It's like incredibly loud at 1%, and, wrong one, and muted at 0%. But we're going to deal with it being muted, because I'm not going to listen to that sound over and over. So anyways, I'm going to set up a temporary little base camp here, where we can, put up our digital miner and our teleporters and stuff. So this time I'm going to set up the digital miner before I go exploring so that it can run while I'm exploring. The two ores I'm looking for are red gem and palladium. What's it? Oh, I'm out of oxygen. Fix that real quick. Turns out actually being out of oxygen isn't that bad. Like the damage is less than my regen can easily keep up with it, but I just don't like the sound of getting pinged every 2 seconds, so I do not torture myself and give myself some oxygen. Anyways, as I was saying, ores. Red gem ore, and what's the other one? Or palladium. Cool, we can keep the same settings. Is my Y level higher? It's lower, whatever. We'll just let it scan all of that. Power it up. Get a place to put its items. And start. 900. Okay, cool. So, trunk loader. And we're off to find a dungeon. Let's set a waypoint too. Alright, here we go. Wow, the entrance is very well hidden away here on Jupiter. I definitely would not have seen this if it weren't for my compass pointing to it. I even flew past it a couple times. I'm like, where's the stupid entrance? I don't see it. And then I eventually looked on the map and this little thing that caught my attention. Whatever, let's go clear it. So recently, when doing dungeons, I've just been like speedrunning them. Basically just run through. If you're flying, spider webs don't slow you down, so I just ignored the rooms with spawners, go straight to the end. Bat boss, you say? It's like part bat, part gassed. I think that's even the gas sound when it shoots. Anyways, with any luck, we'll get the, whatever thing it is we're after in the first chest. The schematic. Rocket schematic. Tier 5 rocket, perfect. Alright then, let's head back to our digital miner, see if we've dug up enough ores, And if so, we can just leave Jupiter behind. Ooh, lots of lag. What was that? Why did this explode? I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, that's plenty. Alright, time to get off Jupiter. My digital miner turned into bedrock. And I can't... What's happening? I think I disconnected. Let me try restarting, or at least reconnecting. Because I can't pick up my digital miner anymore. I definitely don't want to leave it behind. Also, the panels turned invisible. Oh no, the panel's on this side. Alright, I'm going to try restarting my game. Alright, log back in, and my digital miner is once again a digital miner. Whew, got that back. Cool, so let's go build our tier 5 rocket. The plates are crafting now, and once this is done, we can combine that with heavy lead plates, blah blah blah, to make this. That'll eventually make the rocket. But anyways, I think I'm just gonna cut a lot of this out because honestly, this is extremely repetitive, isn't it? I feel like we've, make the tier X rocket, go to tier X planet, get tier X resource, make tier X +1 rocket. So yeah, if I don't run into any issues, maybe I'll just go all the way till like tier 11. I think that's as high as it goes. Dear God, that's 6 more tiers. I'm not even halfway yet. That's my biggest complaint about this extra planets mod is that it doesn't add anything. It's just highly grindy. But whatever, Kappa mode, I guess this is what I signed up for. So yeah, barring any problems, let's see if I can get all the way up to tier 11. Apparently nuclear bombs spawn on Saturn. Good to know. Alright, curiosity killed the cat. I have to set this off. Over here somewhere. It's there in the distance. Oh, that wasn't quite as explosive as I had hoped. Meh. The disappointment is palpable. Give blueprint. Nice. Give me the next schematic. Perfect. Give tier 8 schematic. Perfect. Give me the tier 9 schematic. We're in business. With any luck, I think this is the last dungeon we have to do. Tier 10 rocket. Oh, baby. The last rocket. The chosen one. The one that will take us out of the solar system. Tier 10 rocket. Finally. And no boy is it huge. Anyways, once it's loaded, we'll be good to go to Kepler 22b, where we can finally get these various, color diamonds. The last rocket launch of the century. Complete with a little bit of lag. Unlike those other nasty planets we've been visiting, that have no oxygen in the atmosphere and, horribly hazardous gases in the air and, nuclear bombs spawning on them, apparently. Kepler is a very nice planet. Kepler 22b is, supposedly anyways, in the habitable zone, complete with breathable air, and a parachute dense enough that you can, or atmosphere dense enough that we can parachute down. Very slowly. Can I go faster? Doesn't look like it. Anyways, we'll be on the ground shortly. Once we're here, I think there is a tier 10 electric rocket, which requires its own schematic. But with any luck, I'm not planning on launching another rocket ever. So I'm not going to bother with it unless I have to. All I'm going to do is set up the digital miner to get these ores, and that hopefully will end our galactic craft adventures. It is a pretty unique planet, though. We landed on a tree made of blocks of gold, and the stem is made of gold ore. I don't even know what these blocks are. White icing with red dots, eh? Cute. Anyways, but yeah, if you need resources, this is a decent place to get some. The dirt here, I guess it only drops flint. I thought it would drop gold. But yeah, like the trees are made of gold. If we go a little ways away, the trees are made of some other resource. This is red maple. I guess that's not it. But yeah, it's a. I mean, you went through 10 different tiers of Galacticraft to get here, right? So there better be a payoff. These trees are made of coal by the looks of it. Blocks of coal. Funky place. Very weird. Anyways, I'm gonna just pick a place and is that cake? That is cake. Cake. I'm not hungry. Liquid chocolate, eh? Alright, whatever. So let's just get our quarry or our digital miner running. All the various types of diamond ore are in the digital miner config. Unfortunately, so in the config you're allowed wildcards, like asterisk, but the wildcard must not be between words. So I can't do like ore, star, diamond. Oh well, no big deal. Anyways, let's start it up, see how many there are. Wow, it's not that many. Only all the ores, there's only 760 some. No, less than 800 within a 64 block radius of here. Whatever. We're getting them. We don't need a lot because once we get to the transmutation table, all these gems do have an EMC value. And some of these gems, like these we don't even need any of. Just some, we need a couple. Like green gem, we need, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like literally less than 20. So I'm glad that we finally got here. I'm going to let this run, get the ores we need, and with any luck, we can put Galacticraft behind us. So I think I'm going to wrap up this episode here. We've gone through all of Galacticraft. In fact, let's mark off the quest. You know what? Let's go build this deconstructor really quick just to complete the quests. And we should drop a chunk loader here. Is it all in one chunk? Perfect. I'm also on my second charge porter because I ran out of room in my first one. Alright, so we need a deconstruct. The regular amp. We don't have that. Because once this is done, we have the entire quest tab done. And that is a big milestone, I think. Oh, come on. Alright, we've completed every tab, or every quest in the Galacticraft tab. Claim all our rewards. Quite a bit of rack. Some other miscellaneous junk. So yeah, I think we are now done with Galacticraft. That should clear up most, if not all, of the remaining blockers that keep us from the Philosopher's Stone. So let's wrap up this episode here. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.